Are you wondering how to develop a growth mindset in business? Do you struggle to maintain a growth mindset? Are you in a space of initial discomfort and don't know how to break the barriers? Join me on this journey, and by the end of the video, you are going to learn how to embrace new challenges and find your greatest struggle in life can produce your greatest growth and learning.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
I want to share with you a story of how I challenged myself to apply my own techniques to the challenges I faced. But first, let's talk about the biggest struggle surrounding a growth mindset. The truth is that men frequently struggle to maintain growth mindset once they create a level of comfort and success in their lives that lifts them out of that space of pain. This is different from women who are always asking questions and looking for more answers. I think it has to do with our cultural position in life. Women always ask to maintain. We, as men, seek to establish our comfort and stay there as protectors. It's not a bad thing. But Buddha states that life is suffering. I struggled for a lot of years to understand how this concept would lead to the end of suffering. Why would I want to accept that? And then I began to understand that my greatest struggles in life produced my greatest growth and learning. It's easy to see how much joy can be found through struggle when I look at my physical growth. I lift heavy weights, I run up mountains, I tax my body, and I see the results of my efforts, rewarded with more strength, more capacity to enjoy physical activities, and greater satisfaction with my body's ability to do mundane tasks, like weeding the yard or shoveling the walk, right? Sadly, many of us avoid emotional discomfort because we don't want to feel things like sadness, fear, anger, shame, and failure. These are hard emotions. We fail to understand that growth can only come through struggle, or as Buddha puts it, through suffering. Which brings me to my next point. Changing your mindset and your perspective is actually what we look to do. I actually prefer to look at challenges as an adventure. That's how I change my mindset. Our most memorable experiences are not ones of ease and comfort. Our best stories and memories are ones that are filled with uncertainty, pain, loss, and our ability to take on these challenges and overcome are the triumphs that bring us joy and a sense of accomplishment to our lives. When we start to protect our space of comfort and avoid risk, we lose our capacity to grow. We lose our edge. We lose our vision. The best way we continue to grow is to learn how to embrace challenges. Look into the emotional, spiritual, physical, and intellectual spaces of your life and identify how your body feels about each area. Your body will tell you why you're avoiding doing certain things. Why aren't you starting a new relationship, learning a new skill, exploring a new business venture, or facing a new challenge? Finally, embrace it. Rather than pulling away from these emotions of discomfort, we should allow ourselves to delve into them. Explore the wisdom that they have to offer through the pain they express within your body. And this will give you a chance to grow in new ways. Holding rigidly to our past comes from a misguided idea that comfort can be found in avoiding suffering. It cannot. Reframing your desire to avoid the uncomfortable process of changing and growing, to believe that your best adventures and growth lay on the other side of the pain that you need to embrace. That will give you a growth mindset. Big challenges such as death, divorce, bankruptcy, criminal charges, loss of a job, these can be a catalyst for growth. However, you don't need to create a hard experience like this to keep growing. It doesn't have to happen to you. We can simply look at what we're avoiding. The feelings of fear and uncertainty are there, showing us a path to discovery and learning. The story of my coaching platform and using it on myself is kind of where I really learned to embrace this. Learning to see the challenges of the things that I went through in my divorce gave me an opportunity to change my perspective, honestly. From one loss and the desperation of that moment to the excitement and pride I felt as I met these challenges with a greater sense of understanding, as I improved my emotional strength, and I moved towards the uncomfortable. I embraced the suffering as a gateway to adventure. If you can do this, it will ignite your life. So I think it's really important that we understand all of us have this. All of us have these spaces where we are resisting approaching emotions that are difficult. And there's a lot of reasons for it. And I want to tell you a story about my aunt. She's a 90-year-old woman. And her husband died about 6 years ago now. And she created a 4-year plan. She had been married to this man for 50 years. I mean, actually, more than that. I can't even tell you. They'd been married forever, and they loved each other, and they had built this life. And when he died, I could only imagine how sad she was. But she built a 4-year plan to keep momentum. And she worked it, and she did it. And I went to her house a while ago, and she seemed down. And I was talking to her, and she said, you know, I finished my 4-year plan, and I'm ready to go. I want to go back and see my husband. She's looking forward to the next life. She's 90, and she's thinking, hey, I want to see this guy. And her life here was stagnant and lonely and without the person she loved. And I felt so bad for her because she's so healthy. And I thought, you're not going anywhere. And as we began to talk, I realized that she had stagnated. She did not have a plan. She had completed what she was doing. And in that moment of stagnation, even all the comfort of her life, she was feeling a little bit desperate. And so we talked about another plan, and I suggested a 10-year plan because I'm hoping she sticks around for another 20 years. But I thought if we give her a 10-year plan, gives her halfway to go, and then she can dive into it. And as she created this plan of ideas of things that she could do and how she could engage, her eyes lit up, and she began to see opportunities for adventure in her life. And as hard as it must be for her to be sitting here missing the man that she loves, that she wishes she could be with, the fact that she was able to set her sights on moving into a new space, taking piano lessons was one of the things she was thinking of doing at the age of 90. These little things gave her a sense of inspiration and gave her a source of energy to draw from, to move through this immensely difficult task of mourning the loss of someone that she loves. So we can do this, and she had a significant block. And myself, I found that I had gotten to a point in my own marriage where I was struggling to grow. I had become lackadaisical, at ease with the movement that I had within the relationship and the world that I moved in, the job that I had. I worked at a company where I was an internal consultant, and the job was secure, the pay was really great, but I didn't like the work, and my relationship with my wife was rough, hence the divorce, and we were just kind of mailing it in. And I can tell you that there was no spark other than those moments of, joy that you have with your kids or here and there, but my day in, day out life was mundane and dark and dreary. And then I had this divorce, and I go through it, and it was contentious and hard, like divorces can be. And I was able to look at the pain and the suffering that I was facing and try to figure out, how do I keep progressing in my business while carrying this and facing this? How do I use this to improve my approach to the people that I coach? How do I use this to build myself rather than allow it to diminish me? And that exercise, that willingness to step into the pain that I was facing rather than avoid it and just put my head down and get through it, changed my capacity to handle this difficult situation. It changed my whole attitude. I had to deal with feelings of anger. I had to deal with feelings of frustration and loss and loneliness along the way. However, in dealing with that, I began to sense the adventure in the pain, the desire to know that I could be strong enough to face something as emotionally difficult as this challenge and still produce, became something that actually fell into my business and ignited my own space of employment. I actually fired my customer, my biggest client, which was 90% of my income. Because I had been coaching one of my own clients, telling him, if you will get rid of the customers that you have that are the most painful customers to deal with, it will free up time, it will give you more creative energy because you won't be dealing with the angst of a bad customer, and you will have a way to find better people to work with. You'll have more creative space that will allow you to do better in a shorter time, and you'll make more money. This was my promise. These are things that I have read and studied, and they're apparently true. However, I was not implementing them in my own life. And as I leaned into the discomfort and pain of my own failing marriage, I began to look and see that within my own business. And firing that customer was a big step for me. It was terrifying. I gotta tell you, it was terrifying. But I did it. And fascinatingly, I got down to $1.54 in my account. And I was terrified. But man, it was exciting. And I closed an account with a private equity firm that allowed me to survive a little longer. And I've been rebuilding since then. That is excitement. I stepped away from the comfort of my income, from the comfort of a known client, from the comfort of a family and a marriage that I had built through systems that I trusted and that I lived and I stuck to. And I did not allow myself to feel in my heart the dissatisfaction, the struggle that I was truly facing. But once I recognized that suffering was there and I leaned into those feelings and accepted them, it ignited new space for me. And now here I am doing a YouTube video with you. Isn't that crazy? I never would have thought I'd do this. Never. Not in a million years. But here I am. So I hope that you can take this and apply it to your own life and take a look at where you're feeling blocks, where you're feeling suffering, and lean into it. Embrace it. It will ignite you. It will ignite your business. And speaking of growth mindset and difficulty in business and overcoming, I have another video that is about how to have difficult conversations with your employees. Check it out. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you find this valuable. If you do, I got more videos. Keep scrolling, check them out, hit the bell. And if you want, you can also click on a link in the description to my website. There's a page there. You can actually set up a free consultation with me. We can have a chat, see if there's something that I can help you with. We want to make sure that we know each other. So spend some time, get to know me. If you feel like I could help you, reach out.